Good evening. So many different things went through my mind about tonight. And it finally coalesced into, is that a word? Coalesced? Yes. Into this idea that everything that we do is an attempt to feel whole, complete, and connected, even when it's something horrible. So as we get to know ourselves, we start to understand this about ourselves, these attempts we make at feeling whole, complete, in harmony with our surroundings, and the bumping up against our own deluded views and our expectations and our attachments to things being a particular way. So we say that our practice is about getting to know ourselves. So in this process, we're not just getting to know ourselves, we're getting to know everyone else. So let's say someone does something that makes you angry. In that experience are two people who are trying to feel whole, complete, and connected. So I guess what I'm suggesting here is that if you already recognize that this dualistic way we've been approaching our lives is not getting us to that experience of being connected, whole, and we let that drop away, what's left? So I want to draw the Zen circle. Is it empty? Where does it begin? Where does it end? And what happens when you draw that circle? Drawing that circle is a lot different than pointing the finger. You, nothing but trouble, you. I'm not belittling our struggles or saying that we don't have difficulties. Of course. I'm trying to get at what is it we're trying to accomplish, actually. That's one thing. The other thing about our sitting practice is we're doing no thing, doing no thing. What's there? What's left? Everything we're trying to accomplish through our divisive ways of dealing with life is already there, complete and whole, and ready for us to just go, ah. But, if you don't know that, you don't know that. So that's all right. Just keep coming back. Instead of saying, sitting like your hair's on fire, I'd just like to change it tonight to just let it wash over you. Just let it melt your anxiety, your judgments, your anger, your fear, and just, let it be whole. Because actually, no matter what you think, it's already that way. It's not the way you think it is. So just drop it. If you're going to feel sorry for yourself, then recognize what that is. It's an attempt to be whole and feel connected and in harmony with life. But it's not going to get you there that way. So I feel really fortunate that we can get together and sit like this and just be together this way without any imposing anything on each other, but just being present. That in itself is already showing you what the reality is. Just being present to each other without any back and forth. I think that makes it a lot easier when there is a back and forth. If you can keep that in mind, keep centered there while that back and forth is going on, I suspect that you're more likely to come up with, oh, what can I do? How can I help? What's what would work here? As opposed to, I'm offended, I'm angry, I'm pushing back, I'm up against the wall, I feel like shit, I've done it again, I'm an asshole. On and on and on, the stories we tell ourselves. But those are comfortable because we've been telling ourselves those stories for a long time. Well, as long as we've been on the planet, some of us haven't been here that, but we're still telling ourselves stories. So sitting and doing nothing, no thing. On Saturday, we're going to have our all day sit. And one of the things that I've decided to focus on is what are the obstacles to having a good sit? What's the obstacle? And I think that that's going to be sort of the theme of the workshop. What are we up against that keeps us from having an understanding and an awakening to our nature? It's pretty obvious, actually. It's right there. But, you know, still. So, any questions, comments tonight?
Oh, maybe you could say something about mental noise in relation to feeling whole and complete.
Oh, very good. Good question. Yeah, mental noise. There's, from my experience, there's two kinds of what appear to be thoughts or things that come through as mental activity. One is noise, and the other is seems to come from somewhere else, and I call it wisdom mind or intuition or insight, where you have some understanding and it comes through almost as a thought or an image or a sound through your mental facility. So you hear or see or feel something that is transformative. And that's different than the normal mental activity that is part of our dualistic, deluded thinking, which is just, this and that, and conceptually framing things, in ways that we want them to be. I think of the noise can be very noisy, or it can be kind of subtle. It can be like, I think of it sometimes like a mirage. Like we see something off in the distance and we think it's water, but we're just fooling ourselves. So that's a kind of mental noise too. It comes from a false projection of what we think things are. So when we're sitting, of course, the way we deal with mental noise is by just, a good way to deal with it is just by coming back to the breath and just letting it be. Because the mental noise is really kind of like waves on top of the ocean. And the wisdom and intuition is what comes from the depths of being. So that it's coming from a different place. So when you can recognize that this is just surface noise, just let it be. It's just, like the waves, they come and they go, they die off. So you just let them be. That's how I deal with it.
I heard an interesting explanation about being in a hyperbolic chamber. Is that right, Dan?
Hey,
Hyperbolic?
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm asking you, but
yeah, right.
I thought I would. So, and the issue with that is that even as it's closed off from all sound waves outside, there isn't really any silence because your ears are ringing, your blood is pumping, and you can hear the blood pumping, and you can hear your breaths. And there isn't really like a physical sound wave silence. And I think that goes for thoughts too, because they do run and they just continue to, it's part of our apparatus.
Yeah, the hyperbolic chambers. I'm not sure if that's hyperbaric. Thank you. Hyperbaric.
Hyperbole.
Yeah. So I think that's a waste of time. That's not the same thing as meditating. It's foolish to think that that's meditation. Because meditation is here now, just as it is, just this, meaning hearing the blood, hearing the thoughts, feeling the atmosphere, listening to the cars go by, feeling you're sitting on a cushion, feeling the pain in the legs, all of it. None of it is to go away or to be pushed away or hidden from your experience. None of it. The more you try to push it away in order to get into a state that is pure and silent, the less you will be able to do that. The silence comes from the non-attachment to all of that. Yeah, that's why I was mentioning the whole thing about what is it that is attempting to do. It's attempting to feel whole, complete, and in harmony with life. But it's missing the boat. It's because it's topsy-turvy. And yeah, I mean, that's why, it's so wonderful that our practice is about waking up to the way things actually are. Yes, Dan.
So you're waking up to the fact that you're awake.
waking up to the fact that you're awake. Thank you. That's very good. I like that. All right. Thank you.